Hey, what's up, boys? My self-worth recently has been incredibly dog shit, so, I've read a little bit about it, and I've learned some things, and I just want to talk about it here. Maybe it can help you a little bit if you are struggling with absolute dog water self-worth as well. I was looking at Psych Central, and they described self-worth and self-esteem like this. They gave us two different examples that I'm going to look at here. So, Mr. Dwight knows that he should go to the gym, and he also wants to do so. Surprisingly, the dark feeling that creeps over him is not depression or sadness or grief. It is actually a deep feeling that he is not worth the time, effort, and energy that would be necessary to get into the gym. Self-worth is your deeply held feeling about your own value as a person. So essentially, it's like, what do you deserve? Where do you deserve to be? And let's look at self-esteem. The example they give us is Mrs. Molly feels inferior to her friends as they talk about the facts and statistics of baseball. And this is an expression of her low self-esteem because Molly has no idea that she is every bit as intelligent and interesting as the people at the table. She simply knows less about baseball because she is not a fan of the sport, but yet she feels inferior anyway. Self-esteem is the way you feel about yourself in different areas like intelligence, personality, appearance, and success. And self-esteem seems to be quite realm-specific, so it's only exclusive to one dimension about how you feel about yourself, and then you feel inferior as a whole. Low self-worth undermines what you are willing to do for yourself. Are you worthy of another person's attention and love? Are you deserving of receiving good things? Do you have enough to offer other people so that they might value you? Having low self-worth prevents you from believing in yourself and claiming what is yours. And when you have low self-esteem, you walk through the world in a one-down position. You operate from a place of, I'm not good enough. Everything that happens in your life is filtered through that deeply held notion, even though it is definitely not true. So even mundane interaction like Mrs. Molly's, once they go through your filter, can end up hurting you. So let's reference this back to the philosophy of Mr. Alfred Adler, my favorite Austrian psychotherapist. He talks about the feelings of insufficiency and the pursuit of superiority and how they are both very healthy things. However, when feelings of insufficiency starts to take your courage away, you stop daring to try and you start to self-sabotage and shit like that. You remind yourself of how useless you are and why there's no point to try and how difficult everything is. Then feelings of insufficiency turn from something that is perfectly natural and good into something that is detrimental. That's why I also believe that religion is actually pretty damn OP as a robust source of hope and mental health, because let's look at Christianity. Christians are childs of God, right? And in that way they can relax in God and let His light shine through them as brightly as possible. So that allows them to go after what they want. They believe they deserve things because God deserves things because God is like almighty and good and all that stuff, right? So they can say, why don't I deserve that thing if I should be letting God's light shine through me as bright as possible? That's how I imagine they relax into going after what they deserve and what they believe they deserve. They believe they deserve good things without the impeding imposter syndrome. They believe they deserve what they work for. And this is just like a wide generalization of Christians. I'm not trying to make some sort of weird statement here. Please don't touch me. And that's why I think that without religion or a stable and healthy belief system, it's a little bit difficult to believe that we deserve to be loved and have everything that we work for, or that we're given through pure luck. Because we've seen the mistakes we made. We're not the perfect person. We have regrets. We have malicious thoughts. We're not the perfect person, and ideally we think that the perfect person deserves the perfect things, but that's not true at all. Sometimes we try to self-sabotage as much as possible because who are we to take that win over somebody else, right? If we win, we're taking that opportunity from someone else, and that someone else could deserve it more than we do, whatever that means. Maybe they worked harder or they are a more virtuous person. I bet there is a multitude of considerations and reasons you can think of why we don't deserve shit. If we feel like that, we can try to leverage that feeling of responsibility and lean into it. Because if we want to provide value to the people around us, then we are going to have to become capable, competent individuals ourselves. We're going to have to be resourceful. Sure, we don't deserve that amount of status and wealth and competence by ourselves, but if we have a sense of urgency, if we need to be serving another person, if we have responsibilities, then perhaps we don't deserve these things, but we need them in order to provide the value to the people we care about, because that's more important to us than anything else, right? When we lack a strong reason to earn things for ourselves, we start to think we don't deserve it. Since we're conscientious beings, we aren't narcissists. Maybe sometimes imposter syndrome comes at a healthy amount. It's kind of like a built-in source of pressure that reminds us to give back to others, I guess. Let's talk about how self-worth affects young men and women. It can bring about a shit ton of self-sabotage, as I mentioned. We might see deliberate development of bad habits because we don't deserve to be safe and healthy. We're talking about casual sex, taking unnecessary risk, smoking and vaping, excessive junk food consumption, not eating enough, not sleeping enough, being deliberately late for things, deliberately starting arguments with people, deliberately pushing people away, deliberately being hostile. And if you're someone who lacks a shit ton of self-worth, looking up a video like this and clicking on it to try to help yourself is evident that you have some lingering self-worth left. And even my self-worth is tingling as I said that sentence, because who the hell is gonna look up a video and click on mine, right? Who gives a shit about me? But what I'm trying to say is, if somehow you are something like that, you might even be thinking it's trashy of you to have that lingering amount of self-worth to be clicking on a video like this, that you should be feeling so ridiculously worthless and be under intense suffering to the point where you don't want to be helped, and then you start to insult yourself for even trying. I think this is what you might need to hear, but I'm just making an assumption here. This is what I might have needed. I think you are childish as fuck and you lack responsibility. There's no pressure and no urgency to have the desire to become capable and competent. You have no reason, or at least see no importance in doing well for yourself. Maybe you see yourself undeserving of providing value for other people. You don't see yourself playing that role. It's too difficult, or there's simply no point because your parents treated you like shit or people treated you like shit. In my opinion, without a strong desire to be someone capable of providing value to others, you won't think there is a point of becoming competent yourself. You let that thought fester, ferment, and marinate your brain into apathy, nihilism, and hatred. Since there's some lingering sense of self-worth deep within you, means you must have saw some beauty in the world. You secretly want to feel like you belong here. You want to feel the love everyone talks about experiencing, or that beauty you see and feel in films and TV shows. You want something to change and hold on to a little hope that something will change. Someone will come find you. And it's not that people don't want to come and find you. You should never have that sense of hatred that, I'm hurting here and nobody gives a flying fuck. If you're experiencing that kind of hatred towards the world because nobody comes and save you, people are scared as fuck. They don't dare to overstep boundaries. As you're hurting, they don't know how to get to you, how to save you, because it's scary, and approaching and speaking empathetically to someone seems like you're talking down to someone, so they're just scared of doing that. What if they offend you and you explode and start molesting them, right? Especially approaching somebody who seems resentful, cold, and uninterested in everything. Like, who dares to approach that guy? It's scary. He might bite my finger off or try to lick my toes. They don't want to guess wrongly, and you might think it means nobody cares, but it's more like nobody knows and nobody dares. And your self-worth is probably so low that attempts that are made to come and get you are probably not even noticed by you, because you're probably too focused on finding hatred in the things around you and finding more reason to be in pain and disappointment because that's safe and familiar. And low-key, this dreadful feeling of meaninglessness is not really entirely our fault either. Social media and how interconnected the world is has definitely made everything way more meaningless. Let's say you played a role in a small village a long time ago, right? Sure, you wouldn't be making much money. You're just another guy in that area. But you play a significant role in the area. Maybe you work as a mechanic, or I don't know, you work as a farmer. in a small village, you're playing a huge role in that place. You're providing food to everyone. Everyone knows you. You know, you don't have to worry about finding a girlfriend because, you know, somebody will come and speak to you. And over time, you meet people through your family's friends, and everybody's so interconnected. Things mattered. Your role mattered. And now our role seems so remarkably insignificant because we turn on our phone one time and we see somebody just like us who gets 10 times, 100, 1 quintillion times more followers and likes and comments than we do. And that proportionately means that they are way more significant and way more important and do whatever you do much better than you do. They look much better than you. They are way more valuable than you, perceivingly. And that hurts, man. So the only way to matter on social media or perceivingly matter to the whole world is to become rich and famous and have high status. And that absolutely sucks, you know. Only the top people in our respective fields will receive the benefits of being appreciated and seen and recognized to play a significant role in our, you know, social landscape today. And that's scary, and that's really, really sad. And it makes me want to get to that point. It makes me want to be rich and famous and do all these things so that people will eventually love me. It's not easy at all. With that lingering tiny amount of self-worth, what we can try to do is to take responsibility, offer value to other people as much as we can, even without anybody seeing it for ourselves. We just keep offering value, because that's the best thing we can do right now. And I think from there, we will slowly find some meaning in our efforts, feel like we play somewhat of an important role. And even if we don't, we can live with ourselves. We can look ourselves in the mirror knowing that we tried to offer value. Hopefully you picked up a little bit of insight from this video, or maybe you just feel less alone, because if some random guy online is talking about this, then other people also probably feel the same way. So, you know, it's okay for you to feel a little bit less alone. And I'm no one to give you advice. Honestly, these videos are just for myself. I'm lonely as fuck. I'm trapped in the military. I want to become extraordinary so that I can find wonderful people. I want to do all sorts of different things, and I'm stuck here doing absolute fuck all, just trying to make the most of my weekends. The social landscape I'm dealing with absolutely suck. I haven't dated anyone for the past 8 months, and I'm lonely. I'm really lonely. Like, it's remarkable. You know, I deliberately grew apart from a lot of my friends because we just have different goals, and they were dragging me down, in my opinion. They weren't the people I wanted to be associated with, or I didn't respect them at all, if I'm being honest. And if that makes me the bad guy, then I'm the bad guy. You know, the little amount of friends I have right now are all very goal-oriented, ambitious people. They barely have any free time for us to sit around and waste time together and forge strong bonds, which I think is very important for people in the same friend group to be willing to waste time together. But we are also obsessed with optimizing our time and doing what's right with our time, that we don't have this chance to see each other. And I'm largely at fault as well. If it's not optimal use of my time perceivingly, then I'll be like, alright, I need to go home and work on my shit. But really, nothing's more important to me than relationships. And the reason I'm working so hard on my shit is to find future relationships. So honestly, I should probably be finding the relationships right now and the opportunities. I've been trying to go to lessons and social events more, and honestly, I'm finding absolute fuck all. You know, it's difficult to polarize someone and become closer to them after one interaction. So as you can see, I'm not doing well at all. And I hate that, because that will mean I have no credibility to tell you anything. But maybe the value I can provide is that you are really not alone in this if you're feeling the exact same way. And then we can both feel alone together, and maybe we can bond over that loneliness when you drop me a text on Instagram. But hey, that's just a game theory. The past few weeks I've been stopping myself from breaking down. I mean, it is getting bad, and it's not really a rut anyway. I'm still working on things. I'm still interested in things. I've been learning how to trade. Oh, by the way, you can click off the video now. I'm just kind of yapping to myself here. You know, I've been cutting and eating well and consistent. I've been reading more and I've reduced my doom scrolling time by a huge amount. I've been yanking I've been stroking the scepter less. I'm making progress. I'm doing my best to improve myself, but does that really bring me any more social opportunities? I don't know. I can't see anything changing, if I'm being honest. Sure, I'm more respectable in social environments. Sure, my physique gives me a shit ton of stature amongst my peers. The way I carry myself gives me a shit ton more respect and value, and how I give back to my grandparents makes me feel so much more fulfilled. These things help me feel better. It gives me one less thing to worry about. But my priority is still finding people that I resonate with and that I love and I can bond with. And I haven't found that, if I'm being honest. I have wonderful people around me. I have very supportive friends, and they are very, very solid people. I'm not ashamed of them at all, and I absolutely love them. But I just don't feel that excited bond that I kind of dream of. But that could just be naive thinking. And they're not really the friends, if I'm being honest. I love you if you're watching, but they're not really the friends that I want to be with all the time. I want to find friends that I want to be with all the time, so that in a way where, you know, their goals are aligned with mine, and they're really, really fun to hang out with, and we're willing to waste time together. We're willing to go after what we want out of each other, whether it means it's selfish or self-gratifying or not. Alright, I love you. Good luck. It's a better world. My throat hurts.